Hello, my lovelies. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You do not have to sew perfectly to have something that you can be proud of. So let's talk about that. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Althea, and I'm here to talk about sewing, having ADHD, and all things history bounding and historical clothing so that you can creatively thrive through the art of sewing. Today we're talking about perfectionism, unobtainable ideals, and why sometimes you just have to say F it and finish the garment. Crooked seams be damned. And because who says anything has to be perfect? Life is messy and organic and so not perfect. So seriously, who are you being perfect for? I mean, have you not seen how historical clothing is so not perfect? I mean, when you look inside a historical garment, you will find unfinished seams, you will find horrors beyond belief. And from the outside to the observing eye, if someone's wearing it, it looks like an exquisite garment. So if you're trying to be perfect because you think that historically garments were perfect back in the time when people hand sewed things, well, trust me, they were not. So a quote by Granny Weatherwax comes to mind, and she says, "If you want to amount anything as a witch, Magret Garlic, you've got to learn three things: what's real, what's not real, and what's the difference." What's real is that any garment made by a person, whether to clothe themselves or to clothe someone they love, that's real. That joy and creativity that you're putting into that thing, into that garment, is real. What is not real is the ideal of perfectionism, which is damn near impossible to obtain. Too many people hurtle themselves on that rock, and the rock just doesn't care one little bit. You can hurl yourself against perfectionism as often as you like, but it really doesn't care, and the only person you're hurting is yourself. Let's talk about that project you started and never finished, because it never really was perfect enough. It never really obtained that ideal of perfection that you were going for. Is this desire for perfection coming from you or from others who you think might require that perfection before they give you their approval? If this is what they require of you, are they really worth your effort? I mean, why fit yourself into such a tiny little box? You are infinitely creative and should not lessen yourself for others. I mean, let's talk about that project you started and never finished because it just never attained that level of perfection you wanted. You started this thing, you invested the money in this thing, and then something happened and you put it in a box. It's probably very near you right now, in that doom box or in your punishment pile. Why did that stop you if you thought that it wasn't perfection? Because the only one who requires perfection of you is yourself. And why do you require perfection? Is shame stopping you from enjoying things because you perceive them to not be perfect? I mean, where is that shame coming from? The earth will not end because the plaids in your skirt do not match with exquisite perfection. I mean, who the F cares, really? You can still wear that skirt will still have all of that lovely swish, and you will be able to walk through the park and have people look at that dress and that skirt and say, "Oh my God, that is so beautiful." They do not care that the plaid doesn't match. Trust me on this one. Is it the fear of not being perfect keeping you from even starting a project? I mean, are you a new sewist? Is that why perfection is getting the better of you right now? Because if you think that folks like me who've been sewing for a long time don't make mistakes, well, I can assure you that we do. All the damn time. I mean, the last project that I worked on, I got halfway through it and found out I was sewing it with the fashion side on the inside. And I said, F it. I liked the back side of that fabric even better than I liked the fashion side. That was a happy accident. That was an imperfection that actually worked. So I want you to do this for me. I want you to try to draw something, sew something, make something, and let it not be perfect. Make imperfection your goal. because the striving for something that is unobtainable, it could be something that you are unconsciously putting in front of yourself, making this roadblock to yourself because maybe you don't think you deserve to be able to wear these pretty clothes for whatever reason. And you really deserve this. You deserve to finish that garment, crooked plaids and all, so that you can swish down those garden paths, you can go picnic by the lake and look Edwardian perfection. Wait, what did I just do there? No. You will look beautiful in Edwardian clothes. Life's not perfect. Garments are not perfect. Even fast fashion garments are not perfect. And you don't have to be perfect to have value. You do not need to sew perfectly for your clothes to have value. Even imperfectly sewn, homemade garments have more life, more soul than anything mass-produced by fast fashion. And anyone who tells you anything differently, well, you tell them to come to Auntie Althea and we'll have a little chat. So until next time, get vaxxed, stay safe, and I bid you joy.